Hello class, we are gonna practice selection tools today. To be able to start this assignment, I want you to first finish the tutorials on the website that I put on your Google Classroom. It's the name of the assignment is it's number 3, making selections. There are only 3 short tutorials there. You must download the lesson files and do the editing first over there. It's going to give you really a good idea of what we're going to deal with for this assignment. To copy this tomato, to cut this tomato out of this shape, we're going to use elliptical marquee tool. It is available in the toolbar here underneath the rectangular marquee tool. As if you remember from the previous assignment, I explained how you go to the other tools underneath these icons. Click on the tools and wait a little bit, and the other options will appear on the side. So we're going to pick elliptical marquee tool from this list. You can draw selection in many different ways. For this one, let's just start from the corner and draw a circle approximately to cover this tomato. Don't worry about if you just didn't get one, a part on the side. You can just draw a little bit more, a little bit larger on the other side and move the selection over the picture. So I lift the mouse. I just left the mouse right now. So if you use the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can move the selections 1 pixel at a time. So I'm just going to move this selected area to the left, to the left. And if you want, you can just use up or down. You can go up or down. So until I feel that I cover the most part. This is one way to draw a circle on top of this tomato. I will show you the other way. To get rid of one selection, you can just press Command D or Control D on PC, Command D on Mac, or you could just go to Select menu and deselect. So I got rid of that selection from this picture. The second way of drawing a circle is just starting from the center. If you just start from the center, if I just click on the center and start drawing a selection, a circle, it's going to be like this. But if you press Alt on your keyboard, you are going to start drawing this elliptical shape starting from center, and it's still going to be like more flexible. You can make ellipse or circle. If you want perfect circle, while you are pressing Alt key, just go ahead and press Shift at the same time. So Alt and Shift makes you draw perfect circle from center to the edges. So still I couldn't get the perfect center, but if you just release the mouse, you're gonna have another good circle. I will need to move the selection again to the place that I would cover the most part of this tomato. So this is one other way to draw the selection over this picture. What I'm going to do is I will just copy or cut this selected part out of this picture. You could use keys for this, like Command C is copying, Command X is cutting, but for PCs, it's going to be like Control C to copy. I would suggest not to cut. Of course, it's going to mess up with your original picture. So we're going to go ahead and copy. Or you could just go, of course, you could always use the menus to do that instead of shortcuts. So I'm going to go Edit, Copy. And back to the cutting board, Edit, Paste. So here's my tomato on a different layer, on a separate layer. So for now, I'm just going to keep it here, and I will go to the, let's say we're going to get the carrots this time. So I'll just go ahead and use polygonal lasso tool. There are a lot of tools, like a lot of lasso tools. There's magnetic lasso tool, which just go ahead and snaps around your shape. If you have like perfect shapes, I mean perfect edges, that would work very well, magnetic tool. But for now, we're gonna use polygonal lasso tool, which like you draw straight lines around your shapes, and that way you get the selected area. So for this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a set of lines around this carrot to get this one to my cutting board. So just click one point and go to the next point and try to get draw a short line at a time, so you could get, you know, better. You can even like go all the way here, and so you repeat, try to cover the whole curves. But I'm going to be a little bit quick on this, but I want you to go ahead and do your best around this carrot. So I got this area. I will just go ahead and get this area. Again, the same. Go edit, copy, and back to the cutting board, edit, paste. Here you go. You have another layer with the carrot. The next thing we're gonna get is olives. For olives, we're gonna use this quick selection tool on the tools panel. Quick selection tool is just going over a shape, and it's gonna go ahead and select the shapes for you. Of course, based on the colors. So the closest colors will be selected. If there's no like perfect shapes, perfect edges, it's gonna be a problem. But still, I would like to practice quick selection tool on this olive. So we'll make sure that, well, there's one thing that I'd like to tell you, that whichever tool you select, you will see the properties panel. Properties of those tools are going to appear on top of the screen. So it's like if you pick the quick selection, there's a bunch of properties for that tool, again for all others. So for quick selection, you see like regular selection, just it's gonna select the area, and this one that has the plus sign, that means it's gonna add to your selection, and there's minus, that's gonna subtract the area from your selected area. This is the size of your brush. You can make it like smaller, bigger. For this one, let's keep it 14. So these there are many properties, there are many options that you could change. So for this one, I'm going to use this tool. So let's go ahead and zoom in a bit, because these are small. So if you press Alt and move like scroll with your mouse, you're gonna have like zoom in and out. Let's just click on this olive. If you just keep moving around this shape, you will it'll just go ahead and snap the edges. And don't worry about this shape. So we're gonna subtract that area out of this shape, out of this selection. So very carefully I'm moving around, but it's gonna go a little. It'll just go ahead and extend a bit, and then I'm gonna subtract those areas. Oops, it went too much. So let's go ahead and subtract the area. Like I don't want this olive, for example. Let's go ahead and get rid of those parts. This is gonna be a little bit challenging for you, but I want you to practice and do your best. It doesn't have to be perfect, remember. It's only practice. Okay, so also I think we want to add this part again. And subtract this part too, just a tiny bit, a little bit more. And I want to add this part on the selection with again the plus sign. Go ahead and click here, just very tiny bit. See, there's no edge, so it's hard for it to detect as well, but it seems like worked very nicely. So I'm just gonna go ahead. You could actually delete, subtract that little black part as well. So that will work if I just go ahead and do this. It's kind of smooths the edges for you, you know, your selection. Here we go. I think that will work. So go ahead and click edit and copy and back to cutting board and edit, paste. So I have this set of olives here. Last but not least, let's get the lettuce. In this picture, we're going to practice how to use magic wand tool, select and mask, and also select inverse. Select inverse is the way we pick an area on the picture and actually go ahead and switch the area, selected to not selected. Let me show you. The magic wand tool is here underneath the quick selection tool. It just selects the similar colors of the pixels. So if I just click the white here, depending on the tolerance level, it's gonna pick the white area. If you just click on, so it just picks the white area for me. But I want other than the white area. So the rest of the picture is the lettuce, and the little shade here, we're gonna take care of that with the select and mask part. But now I want the other side of the picture, the rest of the picture. So in this case, we're gonna go ahead and click select menu and inverse. So it just reverses our selection. So now I have the lettuce selected. So to get rid of these parts, we're gonna go ahead and use select and mask option. And over here, the view option is overlay. We want this one. It shows the selected area colorful and the rest of the part is reddish. So we're gonna check. We're gonna go ahead and add or subtract selections by just using the brush tools here. This is like a selection tool, and this is a brush tool. The selection tool is just, you know, quick selection. If you remember from the olives, it just selects the area, like, you know, whichever part is selected, it picks the closest colors on the pixels. But for this one is only brush tool. It's just wherever you brush, it's gonna select that part. It's not doing any automatic selection. So if you are gonna work on the small areas, you can resize your brush to a smaller brush or large brush. It depends on how big area you're working on. And the hardness and spacing, those are all other options. So now I'm gonna add more, well, not add, well, maybe this side, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and add this part to my selection. So I just delete this red area. That means that's gonna be added to my picture. As far as I see, this is a part of the lettuce, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get that part. I got that part. And this white area is the shaded area. I want to get rid of this part from my lettuce. So I pick on the subtraction and just draw, just brush this area. It's not snapping or selecting by itself. As you see, it's just like painting. So you paint this area to subtract this from your selection. As I said, you can play with the brush size, brush hardness on this tool. So I got a little bit too much. Okay, you can go back and forth with minus and plus sign. So this is very convenient tool, and when it comes to select and mask is very convenient tool when you're trying to select complex shapes. So here you go. I'm just very happy with the selection now with this area. It looks just fine. If you're done with that, press OK to turn it into a selection. So again, the red areas are the part that you don't want on this picture. If you want to see a selections, it's going to look like this on the regular picture. But to work on, to make sure that you got the right parts, this is a really good option. So it's just red, and you just go ahead and work with the other parts. So press OK to go back to your regular picture and the selection. Now again, the same thing, you go ahead and edit, copy, and back to cutting board and paste. So, as you see, our letters is very small if comparing to the other pictures. So we're gonna resize these. So we have in my layers panel, see, I have like board, the background is cutting board, tomato, carrot, olives, and lettuce. So let's go ahead and resize this. I want this lettuce to be bigger, right? So if you remember the resizing tool, it's transform tool. So it's like Command T or Control T. So make it bigger. First, when you're resizing, you will see that it's like pixelated like that. But when you release and press Enter, it's going to turn to a regular quality. So the rest of the assignment is mostly just resizing and copying the objects. Again, let's take care of the carrot now. We're going to make this one smaller, and just from the corner you will see the rotate sign. You can just rotate this to make it like a little bit, and then here we're going to place that there. And I want you to copy this one as well. So if you just hold down the Alt key, first press Enter to get rid of this. Hold down the I key, Alt key, and move this, and resize that one too. Make that smaller, a little bit small, and then just rotate this. Okay, so we have 2 carrots here. Then we're gonna have 3 tomato. So let's make this tomato smaller. One tomato, and hold down the Alt key, another tomato, and another tomato. So if you just make these like smaller, one here, and this is also Control T or Command T, and move. So we have 3 tomatoes. And we have olives, we have carrots and lettuce, so we're almost done. We just need to use text tool for this picture. So we're going to go ahead and use horizontal type tool. Some of you were confused about like vertical type tool were just chosen on your tools. just all you need is, if this one is there, all you need is hold down the key and go to horizontal type tool. So the last thing to do is just type salad. First you need to draw a text box on the cutting board and salad. As you see, my text is way too small, so all I need is just highlight the text while you're still in the text box, while it is still selected, so you can highlight the text only then. And you see it's 46. If you want, you can just go ahead and just type the number there, like let's say I want to put 300, or you could just go ahead and drag your mouse, like just move your mouse while holding down the key. You can just move left or right, so it's gonna just resize your text the way you want. I want to make it like bigger. This could be just fine. And while it is selected, you can change all these properties. So I can make that one, the alignment is different, or I can change the font, which I want, maybe this one, and you can go ahead and change the color, and you know, whatever you see here, all the other options, and you can just check to see it's all done. Oh, the color is not changed. So we're all done. All you need is save this picture to your computer. First, you save it in PSD format. Please just make sure the format is Photoshop, so you still have the original file with all these separate layers, and save it. And after that, go ahead and save one picture for me. I'm sorry, it's first it has to finish saving the other one. So save as, and then this time you just make a JPEG picture for me. So the format is going to be JPEG this time. You keep asking like which JPEG, just pick the first JPEG, and you can change the name to salad. Saved. This is the file that I want you to submit to the assignment on the Google Classroom. So I want you to make these olives smaller, very smaller, and copy this layer so to make like 6 olives in this picture. So if you go ahead and press Alt key on your keyboard, you will see this like double sign, like duplicate sign on the cursor on the mouse. If you just hold down the key and move this picture, it's gonna just duplicate your picture.